went through trials and tribulations to get here. Okay, I didn't leave. I called into work today. Hope my managers don't see this, but we're here. You know, this is right down the street. You know, but we all made it here. Tonight on the show, we have a very, very special person who's apparently not gonna do a little singy song for us. But, you know, yeah, we might peer pressure him into, you know, doing some sign language up here or something. But that's gonna be Beast Mode on the stage. Woo! Everybody clap. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Well, you know, every clap counts, right? Right. But yeah. Unless it's the clap quoted by Beast Mode. You got experience with that? No, not at all. So for people that don't know the name of Beast Mode, that's Chad Coleman, right? A very important person of the show. He's what would you call you, a founder here? As far as here or the show or what? Everything. He's a founder and father. Executive producer of the show, co-founder of the venue. So we're tag teaming roles tonight, Chad. Well, you are split personality style, but you know, yeah. But Beast Mode on the stage. We're gonna get our panelist up here. We're gonna ask him some very intimate questions. So I hope everybody's ready for that. Okay, okay, boys, get your asses up here. 3 asses, 6 cheeks. Get ready. Find your chairs. I might wander back up here at some point, but I'm going to play viewer, audience member. Chad's going to stand on one of these chairs and squat.
All right, guys. We're here. We got the Edward Snowden episode, so hide your wallet.
Oh, what up, Zeddy?
Can I get people to, like, sit over here where there's chairs instead of awkwardly standing in the shadows?
Yeah, we want to be able to see you, you know. Did Zeddy bring a fucking notebook with Oh, okay. Oh, shit, look at that. That's fucking dope. Can I show that to the camera real quick? Oh, shoot. Yeah.
That's not on photograph paper, but if you like it, I'll do it on
Man, look at that. I don't know if you can get that in there. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's got me in the forefront and everybody else in the back. Look at that. That's fucking dope, Zeddy. All right, well, I'm going to hand it back to you till after we're done.
Let me get that here. This is terrible podcasting etiquette, but let me just stare at this and not say nothing for a little bit.
Terrible podcast etiquette. So.
I like how Kansas Mex's smile is, like, dead set in the center of it.
Oh, shit, I'm on there.
Well, of course you're on
You
there,
look
man.
at Beast Mode's fucking hobbit ear, because it's pointed,
Yep.
and right there, half of his ear is Mex's smile.
Bro, I'm like half elf, I guess. I don't know.
It looks as if so.
So.
Give it to him so you can see.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it out.
Passing around the picture. You know what I'm going to... No, I'm not performing. I'm just interviewing and asking questions. Okay. So, let me explain that.
Yeah, I guess he's asking
that.
himself questions.
All right, it's like this. So I'm not the original person supposed to be here tonight, but Snow and Kansas City is a pretty good distance in that. So I decided, I know you guys are always trying to get questions out of me, and I never want to answer your shit because I'm always just busy doing shit. So I figure I'll give y'all, especially Leon, always trying to ask me questions. If he don't shoot me with like 14 questions tonight, I'm going to be a little disappointed. But something other than favorite foods and shit. But no, like, I figure I can at least come out here and answer some questions, but at my fucking age, and I haven't done but 5 shows in 5 years, no, I'm not prepared for that today. Y'all'd see me croak over and die if I performed
5 shows in 5 years?
Bro,
that's most old heads out here.
I mean, I'm just
saying. And they still claim
like,
to be rappers.
Well,
and they'll do 5 shows in 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm not here tonight as a rapper per se.
I'm not a rapper.
No, like, don't get me wrong. I've had my artistry shit, but it's not why I wanted to take the time to sit up here tonight. it's because of everything else that we have going on. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of you guys, you have questions about how the fuck did I get here? How the fuck is me and Preston got this spot here? And you know what I mean? Like, you're filled in on a lot of things because you guys are around us, but I also know that there's still questions that, you know, you guys want to ask.
Questions for, like the guy at a bar.
Oh, you mean hey man, do you want to hear me rap because I'm dope and I want to get on the show? I fucking hate those guys.
No, I mean, these are questions for somebody that's just a guy at a bar.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
That doesn't know much about beast mode because he's just a guy at a bar.
Right, I'm just some dude who sometimes has his fucking mohawk up, sometimes has a stocking cap, sometimes I don't do shit with my hair. But I try to fucking be places and support shows that you guys do when I can. Obviously, I don't make everything. But, you know, I try to show that support because it's fucking important. What the fuck are you looking at your watch for?
I have nothing on my arm. I was looking at my arm because we've been live for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And Mex just nodded and smiled like he
I don't see a beer in front of Mex. Damn.
I didn't bring one in.
You didn't bring one?
No.
Hey, can somebody go to the fridge and get this man a beer?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'll take one.
Can we give him a Bud Light?
Can we break?
You know, like.
Can we break this man's 20 years sobriety?
It's unnatural for him to sit here without a beer, you know.
Yeah, just chilling like always, man.
But yeah, man. You guys.
I seen you over there. I seen you over there taking notes.
Hell yeah.
So what do you got? You want
I got
to
a
kick it
lot of
off?
questions, man. Trying to get the show structured and shit, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just asking random shit. Hell yeah.
Sometimes the random shit's what helps, though. I think
guess,
that helps fill in a lot of stories is the randomness. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And sometimes the random shit kind of lightens it up.
We don't have to off track like some answers that we've had in previous shows where it's like super rabbit hole. You know what I mean? But
Well, if you want to start light, I'll go ahead and start.
I mean, it's whatever, man. I can start.
Okay. Well, then go ahead and start it off.
yeah.
Hell yeah. I was going to ask, when did you start rapping?
All right, so technically about 2007. All right, but before that, what got me into that is I used to have this role of like management, promoter, producer, like all these different roles for about 30 artists around my city. I come from a city about the same size as Topeka, down in Tennessee, and I was trying to make a fucking scene, kind of like how I do today. It's just different. And as people are asking me for things and I'm getting them for them, and I'm achieving their wants, there started to become a whole lot of, oh, I can't make that, and it's bullshit excuses. That's why it got really irritating. Was like, it'd be some bullshit like, my girl said I couldn't go. Man, shut the fuck up. So after about 2 years of that, I just was like, fuck, if I'm going to be able to get all this stuff for people, maybe I can do it for myself. So I sat inside for like a year and kind of made an album, but like as I'm making it, I'm taking it to the homies and I'm getting
Like a
opinions.
Like a physical CD and shit?
Yeah, like
shit.
back then, that's how we were making money.
Bro, he said 07.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Back then, we were still able to do
That'd be tight to get a Beast Mode CD.
You don't have one?
Oh, no, I don't got one.
I've got one you can get.
I said, hell yeah.
Actually, you do have one. Check your gift bag
Yeah, you
from
check
the
your gift
opening
bag
night.
From the opening night? There should be one in there, and if there's not, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
But
I
like
don't
physical
remember that,
copies
but
used to actually pay
I
us.
might actually have one, but I didn't
And so
Yeah,
that was
like
the gig before. Was like we could walk around 6 deep, all of us 10 CDs in our pockets, and we're all going to sell them just by going to the gas station and going to a restaurant because that mentality was different then. And so I was like, well, if I'm making money doing it with these guys like this, let me take it upon myself, but get the critique from the ones who mean a lot to me. And so that's where it all just kind of began, was like 07, but before that I was already in these other positions to make it comfortable when I started rapping.
Yeah, yeah. You said you were from Tennessee?
Yeah,
Was that Clarksville? Something like that?
Clarksville, yup.
That's what's up. And like, what other cities have you been to?
Oh man, I've been pretty much coast to coast, border to border.
All right, I'll take it from there. So, you rep Clarksville, and off and on throughout the podcast, we've heard you talk about St. Louis as well. How long were you in the St. Louis music scene for it to really have that connection to where you feel like you got to rep that and the place that you came from?
Day one in that music scene, actually. So, 2009, I've been doing my
2
thing.
years after you started, for those talking in the audience.
Yeah, I had a project that I liked, that I was actually competent with, and I happened to book a show over in Jefferson City, Missouri. I was living in Illinois at the time, right outside St. Louis, and used to. I would go on the flyer and listen to everybody on the flyer because we didn't have shows with 10 people on everything. We had like 4 or 5. You would go and listen to the other people you're going to perform with.
That's tight, man.
And I just hit this band up that was also booked from St. Louis on the same show. I was like, hey man, playing with you guys on this night here. Boom, boom, boom. Like your style. You know what I'm saying? This and that. They were a hip hop rock band, and I was a solo hip hop artist on rock beats. So we kind of meshed anyway. They hit me back like, yeah, we've been peeping your shit. We got this show over here. If you want to come and get it, our budget, we don't have but $50 left to pay an artist, but if you want it, come on. I didn't go home for 2 weeks. I that next morning went to Chicago with them. You know what I'm saying? Like all these places for 2 weeks, I didn't go home. And I'm riding around with these dudes that I don't know, but all have like this music respect. You feel me? And you could tell from walking in the building, like, this is something different than I'm used to. And so from then on, it was just like I was brought into the St. Louis music scene right away. Thrown on a St. Louis music festival that I shouldn't have been on if you look at politics, because I'm very new there. But one of the people in charge of it was one of those band members. So
What was the name of that band?
Midwest Avengers is the name of that band, and they are a whole crew.
Yeah, like 100 of them or something.
They stretch far and wide across America. Most started in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? And here's a fun fact. Anybody ever see the old show Parker Lewis Can't Lose? Parker Lewis is a Midwest Avenger. All right? That's how deep Midwest Avengers goes. Is Parker Lewis, the dude that played him, is a Midwest Avenger. You know, and so
I didn't know the Midwest Avengers was a thing.
yeah.
Until I made a post about the pity party, and I was like, look at this lineup. This is like if the Midwest Avengers was a thing. And shout out to Schwem, he commented like, hey, Midwest Avengers is a thing.
Right. But you know, that's the thing too, is like they would see that and they would just go, hey, we are a thing. By the way, here's what it is. And they wouldn't even like thought twice to just let you know. You know what I'm saying? No drama behind it. They'd have even been like, shit, let us get on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But that crew put me on the road for like 3 years straight. I was averaging 100 shows a year for about 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I was never home. But I was always in this bus, and just learned to live a different lifestyle. One that you see me try to tell these kids, like, touring ain't easy, man, and you don't necessarily go with just your friends. Like, you got to find people who network. Well, the thing about this one was these were my new friends, but they had a different network. You know what I'm saying? So everywhere we went, we still had 2 different promotional areas everywhere, you know? So for me, it just kind of gave me this boost. And then St. Louis actually getting behind me on a lot of things was fucking dope. And it's like, even though I moved to Colorado because weed was legal, it's the only reason I moved to Colorado, St. Louis still, it's where I learned everything. It's where I learned how to go from being, say, a rapper to an artist, you know? And there's a big fucking difference.
Very big difference. Since you mentioned that, what is that difference to you between a rapper and an artist?
A rapper is any person that can rhyme, whether to the beat or not, all right? And that's just modern music shows us that, right? But in order to take that and make it artistry, you have to be able to put into what you're doing more than writing songs. You've heard me ask periodically through this whole last year podcast, you know, do you practice like bands do? And they all say yes, right? They always all say yes. But what you'll find out is they're just walking around the house or sitting there just like.
They got their mama's hairbrush. And
Not even that. They just, they not exerting voice. They're not making movement. They're just reciting their lyrics. That's not practicing. You know what I'm saying? You will lose yourself in the middle of a performance if you breathe wrong during the wrong word. It can fuck you up.
Yeah.
And so I always urge, like, yeah, we're not bands, but you still got to practice hard like you're doing a real fucking show. Turn the fucking heater on so it's hot in your fucking house. And I used to live in a house where the one whole wall was mirrors. If you got a mirror you can look at yourself perform in, you can start making your own facial expressions to go with certain things. And you know what I mean? Like, you can build a stage presence more than just rapping a song. And the problem is we've oversaturated these last few years so much that just because you can write a song and stand here with the microphone out this far,
or the microphone right here,
and we can completely understand every fucking word, and you're not even moving your mouth, like, and people finding that entertaining. And to me, that's a fucking rapper. That's not a fucking artist. You know, an artist is the one who thinks about, I'm gonna pull the mic away from here so I have no or minimal dubs to, there's my dub, and I come back.
But
you know
is
what I
that
mean?
an artist or is that an MC?
No, well, an MC is...
Because I'd say in the way you're talking, that's kind of more so an MC, because you're talking about rocking a stage, the microphone, the crowd, your
An
song.
MC is the artist at that point. If you're coming with a lyrical sense, whether it be conscious or not, you're an MC if you are guiding your crowd, running your stage, you know, being able to talk to your sound guy without having to say anything. Like, we all know Preston. If Preston's in the room and we can look and we make eye contact, he knows, let me listen for something, boom. And you know he's always on it. You know what I'm saying? Those are signs of artistry, whereas a rapper is going to go, hey, turn my beat up, turn my beat up, turn my beat up, while his shit is still playing because he doesn't know any better.
I've noticed a rapper won't say nothing.
Or they won't say nothing, yeah.
Go through and you'll hear nothing.
Yeah, that too.
You'll just hear their song playing in the background because it's always the whole song. And they're just holding the mic, they're saying a few words here and there. And they don't hear that, you can't hear their mic because it's all already there.
Right, the whole vocal is there. And even for a sound man, he can't turn your music up any louder if your vocals are screeching. You know what I mean? So you want it pumping, but you set that tone when you got that mix made because you didn't research who actually mixes. All you heard was Lil Jimmy down the street can do it, and he did it, and you're like, oh, shit, it's done. But it wasn't, you know?
So I just think that's tight what you're doing, you know, in the scene here in Topeka and shit. Because, like, trying to help these artists get better. Because I wish more of these artists would take their stuff seriously. But a lot of them, they don't, you know.
Well, it's mentors, man. Mentors.
That's why I love what you're doing here, you know.
Like, and I'll throw out another person who's being a fucking mentor on a completely different level. And, you know, and that's APG Tone. APG Tone right now, you know, he doing things with the kids. He getting them out here. He was doing, I believe it was some kind of like construction thing with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Teaching them like proper usage of certain tools or whatever and letting them. And I was just like, dude, that's dope. Because you're not even you're not focusing on it being your music related. You're doing it because you have kids. And you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what they're mentoring. The fact is you can catch something from what Tone's doing. You can catch something from what I'm doing. You can catch something from, what's little buddy, the one that runs the church group that comes through every once in a while. Starts with a T.
Trayvon Payne.
Trayvon Payne, okay? Same thing, like.
And here's another one.
They all have these other outlets.
Here's another one that might not be on your radar. Shout out to J.R. Hoodstar out in Wyandotte, Kansas City, Kansas. He does this like monthly thing where as many kids that sign up, they go with him. They like change tires, oil changes, just shit like that. And it's a free course.
Teaching boys how to be men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be mechanical or financial or you know, just learning things and applying. You know, mentors are needed. And I don't see very much mentorship here until lately. Like lately it's been popping out, you know, and I totally appreciate all of those artists, producers, promotion companies, all those guys that are involved in music doing those other things because as we all, hip hop has a bad name throughout the years anyway. Right now it's very fucking bad with drill music, but you're watching grown ass men try to change that, you know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate those things.
Who was that one person that you had, or just if it was the lack of having no one that makes it to where you're not an asshole about shit that you know? Because so many people, they'll get to like a point where you're at and they'll kind of plateau themselves because they'll feel like they know everything and they won't share any information and you can't tell them any different.
One of my best friends from Midwest Avengers, his name is John, BC, whatever you want to call him. He was the tour manager for the Ozfest. All right? He carried $1 million plus to the bank for Sharon Osbourne one time. And after that point, I'm in his living room and we are putting together our own tour every night of the summer for 90 days. And seeing how you had this position and you're taking what you learned from that position and keeping for one, yourself and your band humble, you know, you can only learn from what's around you. And when people around you don't have shitty attitudes about the hard work at hand, you kind of have to adapt it or move the fuck on. And that's just kind of what happened was I'm watching these dudes, they work together. Don't get me wrong, they fight. They have their times, they don't like each other, but they work together for a common goal. And I don't see that out here a lot. I see a lot of the responsibility laid on, say, like one or two people in a group. You know what I'm saying? And like we can sit here, we can all sit here, I'm not saying this is what it is. There's a few of y'all from 785 certified in here. At the end of the day, who's 785 certified to y'all? It's Leon, correct? I mean, it's
Facts.
all of you, but
yeah,
it's Leon, correct?
Yeah.
So in the eyes of most people, all responsibility falls on Leon.
Yeah.
But because he has people like you guys that he trusts can say, hey, D-Revell, boom, here's a task. Zay, here's a task. Maddie, here's a task. He doesn't have to suffer that on a daily, you know, this is what it is, everything falls on me. You guys, I've watched y'all on different things. Y'all are not going to fucking let each other fall without trying to at least help. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I had to learn over here in St. Louis was a lot of these groups don't like each other, but they will work together for the greater cause of hip-hop. Over here, I see it less than that. Over here, it's the greater good for my music or my crew, and we don't need nobody else. And that's not true. We all need other entities, no matter what your genre is, to kind of be your rap friends or your rock friends or your country friends, whatever the genre is you're doing. You know, you need DJ friends. You know what I'm saying? People that when you go to a show and DJ, you don't have to be the only one There can be somebody before or after you, and you might learn something or they might learn something. It's that simple, you know? So
like building a community and shit.
you have to. Otherwise, what the fuck we got? We got a city with no scene. We have shows with no audience, and we have rappers and bands that have no fans.
Yeah.
You know? And what's crazy is you guys, as hip-hop artists, you guys gravitate to bands all the time. And whether you realize it or not, you all actually want to work with specific bands.
And
Most places
I realize,
won't allow that. That's this scene. This scene is not one genre of music. This scene is the core of music. I love that. Everybody needs to be on that level. It's not just hip hop. It's not just rock. It's not just punk rock or metal, you know, country, bluegrass. It's a little bit of everybody makes this scene what it is.
we can leave country over there.
You know what? You got to give it to what it is, though. It's, you know, I'm too past like picking genres. Like I would have only named 3 genres previously until, you know, the last 5-6 years: punk, metal, and hip hop. Otherwise, everything else can fuck off. But that punk and metal and hip hop break into subcategories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But today, especially having this place and what we want it to be, I'm gonna have to accept the fact that the country boys are gonna want to be in here. The street kids are gonna want to be in here. The punk rock kids are gonna want to be in here. And we want all of that because you're gonna catch yourself at so many different things outside of your norm when this scene does pick up and become what it can be.
Shit, I just think like a lot of artists or just people in general are usually selfish. You know what I'm saying? So like with you and what you're doing, trying to be a mentor, and we got other people doing that. I think one thing that y'all should help, like me, even me too, but you and all the other people, they should help other younger people to be less selfish. They need somebody to show them how to be that way. Because once you're less selfish, then you can help other people. Then they can help you back. You know what I'm saying? That's how you build a community. You know, you gotta be the first one to show them, like, it's not just about me. You know, I want to help you grow too.
Right.
And then when they grow, they can help you grow. You know, and even if they don't learn how to not be selfish, maybe somebody else that you're teaching can get that. You know, and then they can be less selfish, and then next thing you know, you got friendships and relationships, and just get stronger and stronger. You know.
In that, though, just keep in mind there is always a small piece of selfishness to make anything move forward.
Yeah,
and I think what happens is when we try to not be selfish, we're trying so hard that's why people are vulnerable with their music, because we did try to leave out 100% selfishness at one point, and it didn't work. So instead of keeping a small amount and keeping certain things off the table, we gave everything to everybody, and vice versa. And now look around, and it's like it's very hard to get any groups of people to work together that are not, you know, already working together. And if they used to work together and there's a problem, you know, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to make it past whatever that issue is, you know. St. Louis, we actually had a festival that kind of killed a lot of beef. You know, the St. Louis Underground Music Fest started in 2010. And at first, certain people wouldn't be on it. Like, he wouldn't be on it because you're on it and shit like that. But when certain names hit the bill, everybody wanted to be on it. And on that day, every year, it doesn't matter what your beef is with anybody, for 12 hours, you leave it alone. From 2 p.m. to 2 a.m., it's null and void. And everybody respects that. Because we know once that one thing breaks out, that's the end of what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
What are some future plans that you have for here in the city?
Here in the city right now, this place right here is the top of my mind. I don't really have another focus at the moment. Even the studio, you know, the studio is slowing down. You know, we're going to be doing less and less in there, and may end up doing none in there. But my focus is got to be this place over here, because 2 of us are responsible for X amount of dollars every month for the next 3 years, you know what I mean? And so we have to make it pop. So right now, even though we've got, you know, a couple of food and toy drives coming up, you know, we want this place to kind of be, we want this to be the concert vibe. We don't want this to be, you know, a bunch of sit-down tables, nobody's moving. That's where it gets boring, you know? What happened to going and people jumping around and dancing right here? You know what I mean? We're missing that. But we're missing it because it got taken away. Not like intentionally necessarily, but just that's just kind of how it went. Everywhere has a shit ton of tables and chairs. But go to the Granada. You're in standing room concert. This may not be 900 people, but, you know, 200 plus in this motherfucker.
I mean, it
plus
can
out
be if you
back.
promote correctly.
Oh, I mean, I don't give a fuck. We'll push it. Let the fire marshal come and shut us down. That means we had a great night, right?
Facts.
But,
Man,
I mean, this is pretty much my major plan right now is this place.
Yeah, like if somebody wanted to do a show here, how much would it cost them and who they got to talk to?
Okay, so they talk to me. There is a artist sign-up form on all of our platforms. Six and Pulp Music and Event Space. And it depends on who you are. Okay, if you're a promoter, you got to rent the night, $500 a night. And if you get multiple nights at once, like there's these dudes looking at the spot right now, they want 3 with a possible 4 nights. I'll discount that. But it's $500 a night. You get dope-ass fucking sound and lighting guy, you know. You get somebody to check IDs only. IDs only. You got to bring your own money collector if you rent the night. But we have our own person to check IDs, you know, and we will be using a clicker, you know, as well to kind of keep up with how many people come through the door. And then a couple of security guys, you know. But you've all heard this space with a band or with a fucking just coming out of that shit back there. This shit is dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Preston busted his ass on this shit, y'all. Straight up.
Yeah.
What you see and hear in here is fucking 90% that dude. Straight up. He's been living in here for the last 2 months overnight for the most part. Trying to get this shit together. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I'm the one that you talk to, but this is his aesthetic. This is his fucking sound. This is his fucking room. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And so we're going to try and keep a sound standard. We're also going to have check-in standards. If you do ticket shows, if you rent it and you do ticket shows, we got to have ticket turn-in standards, things like that. I'm going to bring what I know from the cities I lived to here, and it's not going to be easily welcomed on some levels.
Not at all.
But if you don't hold a standard, you don't hold shit, you know? And so hopefully other places will follow suit with what we're doing, because the way that we're going to do it is really the proper way to do shit. It's the same way that the bigger clubs that you go to handle the same business, you know? So Six and Polk, that's where it's at.
The best spot in town right now. You know? And how's the podcast doing?
Man, you know what? I enjoy this shit, especially like after being in here for Raw Keys last week and seeing this aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this. You know, it's really about how the fuck do y'all feel about it? You know what I'm saying? So when you guys are feeling fucking stale with it, you're the ones here, man. I need to know these things, because otherwise I'm just assuming everybody's as bored with the situation as I am. Sometimes that's not true, though, obviously. But that's my only thought, because we don't really even talk about it very much. You know what I mean? we just
Especially not this
roll.
fool.
We just run with it. You know what I mean?
He keeps talking about me like
This fool don't talk about nothing with us. I'm sure there's been one time where it was that 1 week where we were outside of the season where Meg showed up at the studio. And he was calling people like, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah,
damn. I've been at some meetings I didn't see you at.
But where did the name Beast Mode come from?
So, one of those situations where I, back in 07 when I was taking my music to my homies. One of my homies, on about the third or fourth run on making some shit, that's where he was like, "Bro, you going in beast mode on this shit these days, man. Boom, boom, boom." And so it came from that scenario, which is, if you know, it's a Transformers fucking saying. You know what I'm saying? It came from Transformers Beast Wars, But it's also stepping out of character because I'm not, unless I'm arguing with you, I'm not a loud person. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm over in my spot. You guys know. You guys always come in and hang with me. I don't walk out into the, you know what I mean? And so if that's my regular everyday, but when I hit a booth or a stage, I'm adding, intensity to it. And that's what it means. I'm just coming out of my normal into this, going into beast mode.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Like I was thinking, we should do 2 or 3 artists a night, because there's I've been hitting up artists and they say they're interested, they want to come out. So I'm like, man, if we get more artists on the show, we can get, more people to have episodes of, so people can watch, But
You do realize that even doing it this way, we're already an hour and a half in on most episodes, and it's hard to cut it down from that and make it worth anything. And my whole thought when, format change was, it was at first 2 artists, but we did that first one with just 1, and it was way more interesting because we focused on 1. And I felt like, if artists want to get on it, bro, we can book them out on this show. You know what I mean? They don't have to necessarily be right this season. We can just give them a Monday date set out, and you know what I'm saying? Like, when we have that, bro, it allows us to work with having this show a lot easier because I don't have to wait until Monday to tell Leon who's on the show. He already knows, you know what I'm saying? We had the whole list up until tonight, which was supposed to be Dose. We already had that planned out. We had Duso, we had fucking King Maine, Key, Next week, you're not getting music next week either. You're getting actually you're getting a seminar, in a sense, from Becky Waugh. You know what I'm saying? From Arts Connect and Artismo. And I kind of felt like that was an important one because the arts community does support the music community now. And I say now because they haven't always. But especially those 2 ladies, they try to fucking be as involved as they can with the music thing. And so, I mean, why not let somebody who's got a different angle and looking at things from an art perspective rather than, say, a music perspective or a brand business perspective, why not let her throw some info in that might help click some of these things that artists aren't grasping just because it's coming at them differently, It's easier when you think of something and go, oh, man, I could apply that in this scenario to this, rather than you telling me directly, I may not grasp that because I think you're talking to me wrong, maybe. You know what I mean? That's just people's mentality, not me. But when you hear it from an angle that's not what you're involved in, sometimes it's easier to take in, And I think having her here, doing a small 15, 20-minute little seminar on art and what she's going to talk about, and then being able to ask her questions will fill some blanks that we don't even know are missing for some people,
Facts.
you know?
Damn. So like on the interview part of the podcast, what's the time we're shooting for?
I mean, honestly.
Just until it gets to be bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think because like there's a handful of answers or a handful of questions that, you know, that you want to ask between the people sitting up here, but sometimes answers get ran. And so it's hard to control the amount of time an interview can take up here without us actually looking like assholes. I don't want to look like an asshole.
Fair
I've
enough.
looked like an asshole on the show before a few times, and that's cool, you know what I mean? But I don't want that to be like what it is, because that's not what it is, if that makes sense. You know?
Right.
Cause like how's the audience feeling? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Good.
yes, it could be 4 hours long and you go through and edit it before you even post it. You know?
Right. Well, that's okay. So last week when Key was up here, OBS shut down. And then last night, Leon had it up as a premiere, and it went like it was live. It played it like it was fucking live, you know what I'm saying, through the premiere and shit. And, you know what I mean? And it was, you know, almost a week later, but still the fact is what messed up last week was still able to be put out before this episode, you know? And so, I mean, we deal with a lot as far as technical with this show, but dealing with you guys and you guys dealing with me, I think is a lot easier than some of the things that these guys have to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and we do take them for granted sometimes on scenarios, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, it's not, when a computer crashes, that's not any one individual's fault. However, in the midst of things, it does become the responsibility of the person who's running that computer, you know what I mean? And so even though we run into a lot of those things, we try not to really hold on to it for too long. Even if I'm fucking pissed about how things are turning out on an episode, most of y'all only see a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? I try to fucking just be like, leave me alone. I'll catch up to y'all later. You know what I'm saying? But you guys don't really, you guys are so involved, like being up here and being out here. You guys don't catch it when it does that all the time. You have no idea I'm throwing a fucking fit in the back. You know what I'm saying? Because where you're sitting, the room sounds like it's supposed to, but maybe the feed doesn't, or maybe the video's all shitty, whatever, but you guys have no clue with that, you know? And so it's just like, we deal with a lot here, but it's fun to me. And this is kind of this is one of my favorite things every week. I look forward to this night, no matter who's up here. You know what I'm saying? Because for us that are here tonight in the snow, this is our getaway. This is our weekly fucking hangout day that we may not look at it as a hangout day, but really that's what it is. We know we can come in, we can chief, we can drink, we can, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see people that want to see you. You know what I mean? We all want to see each other every fucking Monday. And so it's just good vibe, you know what I'm saying? And I want to keep that. But, you know, I'm totally down to, you know, discuss like some other options here that we can do. Just in those other options, we have to make sure that we can stay in time frames and find ways to stay in time frames without it being shitty looking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I was just concerned about the viewers and stuff. Like, didn't know if anybody had told you their, like, what is it, their feedback on the podcast. Because, like, I'm just thinking about the people in the audience and the people watching online. Like, I want them to see a podcast or watch us live. I want them to be engaged, you know? Because sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I love this podcast. You know, this shit's tight. But the way we've been doing it now, I feel like sometimes people, it goes on a little bit too long. And it could be interesting, but it reminds me of, like, at church and shit, you know? Like, you're just sitting there listening to somebody talk. They could be telling you how to win $1 million or something. And after a while, it just kind of gets boring. So I didn't want that for the viewers. So I was thinking, my idea would be, like, you can get an artist, a couple, maybe 2-3 artists to perform. maybe we can interview them for like 10, 15 minutes, just keep it short, and have another artist perform. But you know what I'm saying? We just do whatever works.
That was the original idea. You know what I'm saying? That was the original idea. The reason that really didn't work out was even though everybody knew who was coming in the week before, you know, and even weeks out, people weren't putting their questions together until day of, and so it just, it didn't, there was kind of no flow to it as far as the people sitting on the couch doing the interviews. And so when I suggested the audience Q&A, okay, and just like he said that D-Rebel asked a question he was going to ask, right?
Stand up, man.
But, you know, if you guys asked a specific numbered amount of, say 4 questions each,
Oh, yeah,
that would leave it open to see boom, boom, boom. And then if there was something that didn't get asked, you know, that could be like, hey, one more question for the night, boom, and then, you know, shout out your people or whatever. You know, there is ways to do it, but because we've been moving so fast, you know, with this place over here, and I've got a lot less time to put into Sound Peak After Dark than I did, and I've been actually relying a lot on Leon and Preston for it. You know what I mean? But, like, it's, I'm not worried about numbers at the moment. I guess I'll say it that way. For me, it's we gotta make it over a numbered amount of episodes hump. If you know what I mean? And we are just now getting to that. The end of this season is pretty much that hump. Like 3 more episodes for this season, and then it's like boom, we have X amount of episodes in, and we can start looking at things slightly different. But it also takes more than coming together on Mondays to make it happen. You know, we need to come together on Thursdays to set the tone for Monday or something. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. So, I mean, there's other factors.
Even like if you have maybe on Friday nights or something.
Yeah,
before a show, if you have something.
You know, just one night where we can gather up and kind of boom, 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 take an hour to kind of, you know, I guess, discuss with each other how we want things to happen, because otherwise it's just kind of how we've been doing it. Come out, get introduced, do a performance, do an interview, do audience Q&A, move on. But you know, those episodes have literally been hour and a half, the same length of having like 5 cats come on to the old style and run it, you know. So if we can shorten it, cool, I'm with it, you know.
I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going good the way it is, but I just feel like, in my opinion, I would think it would be more engaging for the viewers if because we used to have like 4 or 5 artists, and they would do their song, and I think that's cool, because now it's like they perform for like 15, 20 minutes, and then it's interviews, and I feel like, I mean, it's cool to watch them perform, but then after that, you can listen to us talk for a little bit, then I feel like they might be getting bored and shit, you know.
But they're not, because we're feeding their ego.
Oh, the artists, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, we're only choosing people that are working, people that we're seeing actually, the people here know. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people here that the people way out in fucking internet land don't know. But if they're working at home and somebody sees that, then that's how you get to Colorado for fucking pay. That's how you get to Texas. That's how you know what I mean? It's how you get to Washington State, is people seeing that and seeing and hearing what your goals and accomplishments are as these artists. And we've had some pretty dope fucking people on here, you know, especially this season. You know what I mean? And so that's where, to me, it means more is who's participating. You know what I'm saying? The artists that want to be here for these things is way different than the artists that wanted to be here the old style.
Yeah,
you know, I think there's more quality in what we're doing this way, to me.
Yeah, that's
if that
I
makes
feel
sense.
that way too, you know?
You know?
Like, is there a certain area that you're trying to focus on? Or is it just Topeka or any other spots?
So, I mean, short answer, no. But there's context to that answer. And that's because, to me, Topeka is not just Topeka. I mean, to me, the Topeka scene reaches Lawrence, Emporia, Manhattan, Junction City, even maybe a little bit of Salina. But the entire 785 is half of this state. The entire half of this fucking state. There's just too much desolate to be a lot of places other than that. Other than those cities that I just named. Everybody, Kansas City got their own thing going. If you're not raised up in that scene or have a way in, bro, make this your shit and make them see you, because otherwise you're just selling tickets for Kansas City locals and shit. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to do that? I really don't like that tickets is the thing, I don't want, if me and Preston do a show here, and I'm gonna speak for you and you can correct me if I'm wrong. If we put it together, we don't want to have to charge tickets. We want to be able to let you do your job and promote to your people without the pressure of having to buy a ticket. Now, obviously, if, a promoter comes in and they rent the night and they got somebody, obviously they're going to sell tickets or have you sell tickets. But that's not us doing that. If Six and Polk puts it together, we may have to at times, but it's what we want to stay away from in the big thing, the big scheme of it. I'd rather find a way to pay everybody out like we did the show a couple Saturdays ago. That's what I want. That's what, for one, it's going to make our venue what it is, but two, it's going to want to make artists come out and actually want to be here because we didn't make them sell $10 tickets, turn in fucking 2 or fucking 8 and keep 2. You know what I mean? Fuck all that. If you can bring X amount of people through the door, I'll find a way to get you a guarantee. But you have to show and prove that,
So, I've known you for let me take this off. I've known you for a couple years now, and what I've noticed is that you very much are a mentor to a lot of us youngins out here. Not that you're old, but what would you say sorry, snatched your lighter. What would you say the biggest blockade is for a lot of young artists starting out that don't have the funds, that don't have the community? Is it that, community? Do you feel like that's, we talked on it earlier, that's a big thing for artists getting in the scene, but what do you think is the biggest blockade for just actually getting your music out there, getting on shows?
Not registering properly. There's too many artists that actually don't have ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. They don't have those things. There's too many artists that, they release songs so fucking much. You're oversaturating, You're supposed to be able to ride a circulation of songs for a year. But you make a song today, and in 2 weeks, you're releasing another one, and another one, and another one. And you never perform the songs you're releasing. So how are we supposed to learn what you're doing live? How are we supposed to, vibe with you? If I'm your homie and I've listened to all your music, that's one thing. But if I'm a fucking fan of music, coming to a show, I heard a few of your songs, but those songs you didn't play tonight, sometimes I'm uninterested if these other songs don't grab me like those did. But I think that they're not registering properly from the jump. They're not following the rules. They think because, I got an LLC, that's just for your brand. That's not covering your fucking music. There's other pieces that pay you. Spotify pays you the least. Go collect your shit from performing at these other shows in these registered venues, If you get a fucking $100 quarterly from Spotify and you've been doing shows at decent venues that are registered, you'll get another quarterly fucking amount to add to that. You know, there's all these avenues, and I cannot stress enough, if you can't afford merch, go to a site that allows you to just make it and sell it so that you have something for me to buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit, like DJ Zeddy has a website.
Yeah, but and lately he's been wearing all his own shit.
That's tight.
You know?
Yeah. You can just come out to the show, man, and ask DJ Zeddy how he does it.
I did that show with Venom State Trip, and I did a wardrobe change throughout the show.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you know, 785 certified on him. You know what I'm saying? He rocking it. You know,
Zeddy,
he
this is
rocking
yours
his own
right here?
shit.
This
you
is
know?
your picture right here?
It's like we all have your shirt. You know what I'm saying? We all have your shirt.
No,
So-
yeah, I put it over there. I seen
Yeah,
that.
you know, so it's like you gotta remember that music doesn't sell. It's everything else that goes along with it. Your music doesn't sell. I can get your fucking music for free anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that I see lacking from the jump. You know,
What-
just because you can rap good don't mean you're the shit.
With that being said, you might have already answered my question. What's your biggest turnoff with new artists trying to come and perform? I guess, how do you?
Submit properly. Don't walk up and be like, hey, let me spit something for you and get on the show, or, you know, like, wait till somebody says, does anybody have a flash drive? Revell, that's how he got so much shit. He wasn't begging to get on the show. Everybody just knew he had his flash drive. So if he was in the building, he could perform. You know, you got to go through proper channels. You know, that's what it is proper fucking channels. People just get out here and be like, yeah, I fucking rap, or my little brother Johnny fucking blah blah. And then when Johnny comes through, he don't do shit but talk about who he knows, and you know, nobody gives a fuck who you know. They're not helping you. You know. Now you tell me, you know, you got a song with somebody who we all know. By all means, that's an important piece of information that we need. But to know somebody and name drop them and they ain't help you with your shit, nobody want to hear that bullshit.
Shit, who are some artists that have submitted recently?
For this,
Yeah,
or
for the
for the podcast?
So who are some artists we can look forward to seeing?
Oh, we got Becky coming back, or coming next week. King Maine is coming back. We got, I know for sure Anthemus, but I asked him about, you know, doing rap veterans, you know what I'm saying? But they have to get it worked out with their schedule. We will be bringing Dose back, you know, on a day that he's not fucking, you know, snowed the fuck out an hour away. I'm pretty sure that after the other night that I could reach out to Tone and get him on here, you know.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, you know, like I said, there's certain people that work around here that's who we want, you know what I'm saying? And we actually damn near booked an entire nine show season the first week and a half that we had this format. And so, you know, we got a couple shows left and then a week gap. And then, boom, you know, people can start submitting now on soundpeakafterdark@gmail to be having episodes. But not everybody's going to get it. That's one thing, is we're not giving it to everybody like we were. You know what I mean? You have to be literally putting in work more than just making songs.
Don't be
You know what I
scary.
mean?
Submit. So, besides our team here, us obviously, I know that you have a past in St. Louis. You were talking about it earlier, and a couple other spots. What, just for mainly like shout out reasons, what was your favorite team that you've worked with?
Oh, by far, Midwest Avengers is my favorite fucking crew. Don't get me wrong, my Video crew, my Mafia crew, cool. My Trilitary crew, cool. But none of them as a whole, as a unit, have provided as much information, work, if you will, because this is work, they have provided more and actually allowed me to kind of have my own. If I just step in town and there's something going on, I've got a position if I want it. But I'm not forced to take a position just because I'm there. It allows me to participate in damn near anything I want that they're doing.
Is that crew still active?
Yeah.
Cool. And where's that at?
St. Louis.
Okay.
Yep. They're a complete band. You know what I'm saying? You find them all over Spotify and fucking Amazon, Apple, YouTube, Midwest Avengers. And for me, that is just, that crew taught me more than I even had a fucking clue was involved in this whole music game. You know what I mean? We all sit here and are looking around going, what can we do? And over there, it's who can we do it with? It's not what can we do, it's who can we do this with? And so when we can get to who can we do this with on a level of it doesn't matter what side of town, what crew, what style, whatever, when we can get to that, we're on our next level up. We're building a scene, And I think building a scene here of some sort is a goal for all of us, but it's so hard to achieve because we all face the same issues with artists. Even you being a promoter, you have to deal with artists that don't show, artists that are late. You know what I mean? You have your things to deal with as a promoter the same way artists have to deal with being artists. You know what I mean? And sometimes those things those reasons that things don't happen the way they should are legit, and that's cool. But you can't have 15 legit reasons and then think that I'm still gonna fuck with you. You know what I mean? You can only have so many. And I think that, one thing that's kind of motivated me here about our scene is actually you. Yeah, because before I actually really knew you, your page was all over my page, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm watching how you're pushing artists every day. And I'm like, all right, hell yeah, dude, I didn't know who the fuck you were, knew your name, didn't know who you was, but middle of the map music, it's just boom, boom, every fucking day. I'm like, dude, this dude don't discriminate. You know what I mean? But you concentrate on the area. You're not just like, oh shit, boom, boom, the top dude of the week on Billboard. That ain't who you're pushing. You're pushing the locals.
Hell yeah.
And you know so much about the music history here in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It ain't just the recent stuff. I even know.
Right.
Back in the day.
You know all this old shit that we got no clue about. You know what I mean? And so that's why I wanted to work with you on this personally, is because you do have a knowledge that none of the rest of us have, Yeah,
I've been listening to local artists, since probably since high school. Actually it was like 7th grade or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a CD from this dude in Kansas City. He came out here. And then I bought a CD from a group in here in Topeka named Corruption. There with Sticky Green Records. That's my first CD from Topeka. So yeah, I know a lot of shit. So that's why that's what I'm saying. That's one of the reasons why I would want to get more artists on the show, even though it might be difficult to do that, because I just know there's so many artists. And there's artists from back in the days that are still around. They're still trying to do music. And that would be hella dope to get them on here.
Yeah, honestly, that's who I would like to see here, is the ones who are seasoned in what they're doing and want to continue doing something. Those are the ones who are going to mentor the next ones. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even know it. It just happens.
Yeah, like Duso. Duso is one
Yeah,
of
you know what I'm saying? Duso's sitting here mentoring and doesn't even realize it maybe. I'm not going to say he doesn't realize, but he's not necessarily mentoring on purpose. You know what I mean? It's how he carries his business. You know what I mean? And that was one thing when he came the first time that I pointed out, you different. You know what I'm saying? You different. Just the way that you handle you as an artist, not your songs necessarily or whatever. It's how you fucking move and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, like Do So and Anthemus, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of older artists that are like that, that we need to get them on here because they could really spit some game on here to these younger artists.
Younger artists don't want to hear it, though.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, and I'm just being real. Like, that's what it is because they're not. We look at his word that he likes to use. We're MCs. We're people who have lived on the road. We're, you know, these new guys, they don't know that there's work behind it. They just think, oh, we put it out on the internet and the internet's going to make me fucking rich and famous. But there's way more. Yeah, that happens for some people, but that doesn't happen for everybody. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't even, like, the way we had it before, it was cool, but it's like we were focusing too much on the new artists. And this seems like now we're going to focus on the old artists.
This is for people that like are putting in the work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That we could ask them some questions without like
even some of the
getting
people
offended
that were here in the old seasons. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling those people don't fucking come back or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's a handful of those people that we can all agree, okay, yeah, they're worth bringing back and having sit here and, you know, they have something to say that's worth something more than my music, my T-shirts, my stickers, you know what I mean? Like, substance. Got to have substance in what you're fucking interviewing about. That's how people get bored when we're just talking about bullshit, you know?
Yeah, because, like a lot of these people, they're just younger, you know?
Yeah.
And when you're younger, you don't know a lot. You might think you do, but you really don't. And when we have these older artists here that can help them, that's what they need. Because even back in the day, I remember there was younger artists, and they didn't turn out to be nothing. I've seen that, like, on YouTube. I don't know those people, you know what I'm saying? But I would see what they did on YouTube, and nowadays they're not around.
They hit a ceiling.
Say what?
They hit a ceiling.
Oh yeah.
They got to a certain point, and they thought that they were in a lane that they weren't yet, and that was it. That was like, boom, we're stopped here. You know what I'm saying? And so when you hit a ceiling, you have to either go reconfigure or move the fuck on, you know?
That's kind of a good segue to the question I was wanting to ask is like what's like some motivational words or just your advice for artists that just get overwhelmed with they hit that ceiling and now they're like, okay, well, this was fun. What's kind of like, because I know community is a big factor. Money's a huge factor. What was your kind of motivation to keep going? Have you hit that ceiling before? You kept building.
My motivation was like, I like live shows more than I like the studio. So as long as you wanted to book me in places, I'll fucking go. You know? Everybody's different though. Some people can't live on the road, you know, and there's many different reasons for that, but many people can't live on the road. For me, that was mine. Some people, like these guys, they love fucking living in the studio. They love it. Not to say that they don't love doing live shows, but if you have hung out with these three dudes back here at all in the last 3 weeks, they've all been working in the studio on different projects and working together. That's where they're a unit, you know what I'm saying? And then when one of them has a show, they all go out and they support it. Everybody don't have that. Everybody's like, oh, you know, I don't fucking need nobody. I don't, you know, but we all need somebody. We all need somebody.
That's why
I need y'all, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as you know what I'm saying, this show may need me, I need y'all to make this shit happen. You know, I couldn't do this fucking venue without that man back there. There's no fucking way. You know what I'm saying? I had to have somebody like-minded that I can do this venue with. And the discussions me and him had before we ever stepped into business together let us know, hey, we can work together. We have this thought process that just falls in line on X amount of things, and we can deal with that. And what we may not agree with, we know how to talk to each other. You know, we forget that we have to communicate. At times, I'm really bad at communicating with people. Somehow, me and him communicate very fucking well.
And I feel like that's something that a lot of youngins don't necessarily have, or maybe that just comes with experience of taking, it's not even criticism a lot of the times, it's more just constructive input, and people just take it to heart. Like, we've seen that even with the old format where we'd, you know, the panelists would talk to them and ask them questions, and they would just straight up get offended.
Right.
What is, like, because was that a thing in your younger days? Like, is that just a thing with youngins, or do you think social media has kind of given people what's the word, like,
Clout,
and that they feel like they deserve attention somehow?
Because back in the day, you had to go out and sell your music in person, or you had to get a distribution deal that put it in stores for you. Even then, you still had to have some kind of push. But when social media came, you didn't have to do full projects anymore. Now you can do 20-second clips, and that's it. You don't have to have no hook. All you got to do is spit a hot 16, make a little 20-second video, and that's your rap career. You know, things have changed so much. You know, they don't have the drive because there's no force of drive there. But because certain things aren't being bought as much anymore, such as hard copies, you can't just go and make your own money anymore. Bro, I was making like $100,000 a year for fucking like 5 years just selling CDs. I didn't have no fucking job. Paid all my bills on CD money.
You know,
so did my whole crew. You know what I mean? Like,
that makes me think, like, why I think a lot of young artists are struggling, because, like, just the economy, it's so hard for people to kind of get to a spot where they can get stable and then focus on their passions. I'm just curious, what are some, like, outlets? Because a lot of us youngins, like, have to work a full-time job and then, you know, pay for our own shit, get this stuff going. Like, what is, like, besides merch, what are some other things that could bring in an income to make it sustainable?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, you know, proper registration. You know, when you go and perform at, like, the Bottleneck is a fucking the PROs. You know what I'm saying? The ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. They're registered with those. So after your show, you register with them. These are the songs that I did this amount of time at this place. It's registered. You get back, and don't get me wrong, it's pennies on the fucking dollar, but you guys are out every goddamn night. So go to the trap, fucking, you better register that shit. Because even though it may only be a small amount of change, you're adding it with your Spotify. You're adding it with your possible YouTube or Amazon or Apple Music, your distribution, you know? And people aren't doing it right. They're signing up, but they're not registering their shit. So it's not protected. You're not protected. You're losing money in that aspect, you know?
All right, so you said that you were going to let me get a show every month. So, or is that still
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. So, like, because I got people that have been hitting me up, they want to do a show, you know? So when you, like, that would be cool if I can have a show every month. I can help this place out, you know, bring some people out. And you have any other plans for shows like that? Like maybe every Friday or every Saturday do something, or
so
Thursday?
What we want to eventually get to is 5 nights a week, minimum. We have something going on. It don't have to be live music. It can be fucking, it can be an EDM, you know, house music, fucking dance vibe. It can be, what that one girl was asking us about, what, emo night or some shit.
All right, that'd be
You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things that don't require live bands, but can be done by a DJ and make it just every night, different vibes. But it also doesn't have to be the same calendar of events every month either. You know what I mean? But if you, for instance, pick, we narrow it down to a specific day of each month. And let's just, for example, use the third Thursdays of every month. You'd have to go and get your number dates, but third Thursdays, boom. You can start laying out the next 6 months of shit, knowing you have an established day each month. You know what I mean?
Set that up real quick.
Right. You know what I mean? So we want to do live events, obviously, but we want to make it where it's like sometimes you just want to come and dance, and
We
you
have
know what
the
I mean?
space for
Like
that.
we don't necessarily have to make it completely the fucking mosh pit in this motherfucker. Those are going to be my favorite nights, but just because that's my favorite night doesn't necessarily mean that's your favorite night.
I hate a
But
mosh.
we have to fucking grab what everybody wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Oh shit.
Oh, the listening party shit. Yeah. So I've actually looked into that. And the only reason that I've steered from it to this point is it's kind of pricey. You know what I'm saying? But
It's a whole lot of money.
That is the kind of ideas that we want, is those out of the box don't have to be the same thing that's going on anywhere else in town. I was flipping through, and I'm not saying we're doing this, but just another example. She was talking about when you put the headphones on and it's silent listening party, is what it's called. And everybody's kind of jamming in their own shit. The room is silent because everybody's listening to the DJ through headphones, right? But then, like, I'm flipping through Facebook on some reels a few weeks back, and there's this dude who throws this thing called a toddler rave. All right? Now, tripped me out at first because I'm like, what? But then I actually saw the live footage of this dude, and what it is it's moms are taking their kids to hear the EDM versions of kid songs.
Oh,
And they're out there and they got their glow sticks and you know what I'm saying? They got their neon face paint and they're having a blast like it's a rave, but it's like a clean rave. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, okay.
I'd love to see
They just
that
over there
here.
passing out Tylenol.
Do what?
They're just over there passing out Tylenol. That's their party drug.
Right, you know.
So is there, not even to bring up like the bad side of stuff or just your opinion on it, is there anything that you wouldn't be open to have here? Like, or like, I don't know, because that's kind of like a no. But like, is there anything you personally, even though I know you would still have an event because you're a very like cater to the community kind of guy, you personally, what's something you don't like seeing, I guess?
Hip hop's gonna hate me. I don't want to throw these shows where these kids got to come in here and feel like they have to fucking defend each other, like these fucking drill shows. You know what I'm saying? I want to steer away from shit like that. There's no reason that we should be in here feeding that. Now, if you look at the other side of things, hardcore and punk rock and metal, we get in here and we have mosh pits, but how many mosh pits are actually ending in fights?
I can
You know what I mean?
actually say something. I'm the co-owner. I don't want to hear no drill music shit in here. As a black African American male in America, this shit is killing my people.
Right.
I don't want it on my stage.
Right. See what I'm saying? So, but we love hip hop.
We really do.
I love gangster rap. There is a
We
complete
do.
difference in a gangster rap show than there is like a drill show. The drill shows, it just makes it seem like these kids only come out to fucking prepare to fight.
And then they can't even rap on the damn beats live. I'm sorry.
I wish that people would like have genuine like rap battles when they got beef, but it's especially in this city, there's a lot of gun violence, man, and I feel like that's why it's important to have these outlets, because I feel like we got stuff for kids, and I know there's outlets for teens, but I personally would love to see like more kids that are in high school seeing that there is opportunities after that. Because me personally, like, I'm very into like the art community and the music community, but I didn't know there was shit until like 2-3 years ago. There you go. See,
There
we,
you go.
we get
You know
new
what I'm
people
saying?
every
Right
day.
there,
and
you know? Didn't know
this
till
is
today, right?
it's a good time to shout out Leon, because he was one of the biggest pushes like towards me. Like, I was real, like, I mean, I'm outgoing, but going out and like doing photography, one of the first shows I went and took photos at was Sports Cabaret. I was like, dude, I don't know, I'm scared. He said, stop being a pussy. And I was like, damn. And I had my hood on and I went out there, and that just kind of like pushed stuff after that, you know. And just we keep talking about community. It's so important to have that community. Like, there's always gonna be drama and like just little like standoffs, if you'd call it, but that's so healthy for artists to develop like where they want to be, what they want to, you know, who they want to be.
Right.
Not really a question, but
I mean,
just a
you know.
shout out to Leon over there. It's his birthday tomorrow, everybody.
Oh, shit. Well, fucking happy birthday. He wasn't going to tell none of us either.
I said happy birthday today. He said thanks, gang. It's tomorrow, but
We'll catch him
thanks."
at the skate park and whoop his ass 27 times or however old he is tomorrow. So,
All right. Well, it's starting to seem like we're getting to that point. Unless you guys have anything else for Beast Mode.
I had one more question. I asked Key last week. I'll probably ask every artist, but especially you, being from a different generation, what's your opinion on AI?
I'm starting to be okay with it.
Okay.
I mean, on a sense of, I guess like lately, it's been pushed where like you still need the human aspect, and so if you still need the human aspect, I can fuck with that. But for somebody to just be like, hey, write me a fucking song that is blah blah blah, and it's complete front to back, all instruments and vocal, and like, man, I don't like it, but at the same time, what the fuck are we really gonna do about it?
It's gonna take over.
You know, everybody's using it in some form. Not everybody, but most. Even your
It's in
mix and
everything.
masters are pretty much AI. If you're using like Ozone and shit like that, that's pretty much an AI fucking thing right there. And so, as much as I don't like it in music, there are elements that it is needed in, and a lot of that really can go back to making an artist who they are. There's a lot of AI shit out there that can help an artist actually level up if they wouldn't be scared of it.
Yeah. And it all comes back to this fucking amazing place we have here, because I feel like with the uprising of AI and everything being on technology, live performances are so important right now. Like, I love watching people live and then hearing their music, because sometimes people's recorded tracks are just ass. And then you hear them in real life and you're like, dude, you sound so good in real life. Like, yeah, it's more authentic. There's like actual genuine passion and energy there. And I love this place for that. Like, I'm so excited to see where we're going to go, and just in this next year, you know, where we're going to evolve. Like, because I remember we've been in here for a while working on stuff, just looking back a year ago and then looking, like, trying to see the future. Can't
Wooden
do that.
floors with holes in it and shit.
Literally, yeah.
Not yet. Those things are so common across the board at other places
Hold on.
that
Hold on.
we just
hold on.
It
We'll
hasn't
go ahead
hit
and
my
open
thought
up.
process yet.
We'll go ahead and
Go
open up audience questions. You can go ahead and
Alright.
ask that again with the mic.
I was wondering, like, open mic kind of, but like poetry, if they want to come and do poetry or anything, if you guys aren't doing like a show or anything like that.
Okay, and answer to that pretty much is because those things are really common. Open mics, poetries, especially in Noto for that, and then like the karaoke things, like those things they're not really on my radar right now, to be honest with you. Not to say that I'm not open to it if the right proposal comes, but those things are not really what I'm looking at, and you know, I feel like that's really the only thing that the artists have out here right now, is to feel like everything they do is an open mic feel. You know what I mean? If you're selling tickets to something, you're really, for the most part, most of those artists are selling tickets to somebody else's name. But then if you're not selling tickets to a headliner, that whole scenario really feels very open mic-ish. And what I mean is, you know, he's a DJ. You can go to any show that any of us are throwing. Chances are he's the DJ, okay? Now, if another DJ comes through the door and he knows that person's a DJ and has seen them, and, you know, hey man, why don't you go get a drink? Let me switch places for that can actually fucking happen, okay? Or that man right there can walk into any show with a handful of bands that are in it, and they don't have a guitar player, a bass player, or a drummer, and he's already familiar with them.
That's
So
Zach Kane, everybody. Prodigy.
It kind of makes the entire scene kind of already feel real open mic-ish, if that makes sense. Because there are so many interchangeable parts that can work together, which is not a bad thing by any means. That's a fucking plus. The fact that we know there's no guitar player for Cannon Tongue tonight, for example, he could fill it in. You know what I mean?
Community,
Handful
man.
of bands. Go ahead.
I was just saying community. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
we have such a strong, like, what's the word, network system here that, and I love to see that because going and traveling around to different, like, venues and stuff and noticing that not everywhere has that makes me appreciate this so much more. And that's why I'm just so excited to see who all comes and starts expressing themselves. And it does start with open mics like that. You know, that's how I figured out I could do a lot of stuff, comedy, singing, stuff like that. But there are other outlets for that. And I feel like even us switching to our format now is really kind of pushing the actions of being consistent and having your shit together. And I mean, nobody has their shit together, really. None of us here probably
we
do,
try,
but
though.
We try. We make it look good. We got Preston putting decorations on stuff, you know.
Right.
So.
What's up, man?
So I got a question. I don't know if you guys already discussed this earlier or not, because you guys sounds like you guys are throwing ideas around. What I'd like to see personally, you know, and I know it's still in the works and all this, maybe having a Latin night. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I said, we could work towards that, you know, get ideas, but I think that'd be
Actually,
pretty beneficial.
you're on a level that we're already thinking about. But when you think about it, here's what I will say is, I think it should be more of like a DJ style Latin night. Let him have his monthly, because you already know the Latino rappers are coming in to do his show, not just, but you know that's when they're coming in. But if we're gonna do, you know, other genres in you know, Spanish shit, you know what I'm saying, then let's make it more fun and realistic for what those nights actually are. So if that was the case, I would say, you know, we line us up a couple of DJs, and it's kind of, I don't know if the proper word would be like a salsa night, but you know what I'm saying, like that kind of keeping it direct, keeping it away from what, you know, from Latin hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and make it more dance vibes and things like that.
Like,
you know.
Like I was gonna say, man, I could set up a show in different genres too. Even like an R&B night. There's
Yes.
some people who wanted to work with me to set up an R&B show, so I could do that
Yes.
here. And then I even know some country artists that I've hit up before that I got them like on my list. Like that list I gave you, got a list of country artists.
This
I can bring
motherfucking
down.
dude gave me a
So,
list
you know
of
what I'm
fucking
saying?
locals one day. Man, this list had, I swear to God, this list was 500 fucking people.
Damn, for real?
Alphabetical order, A to Z, and
Locked
then
in.
numbers.
That's just
And I was like,
785 though.
yeah, it was just this zip code
I
or
got
area
Kansas
code.
City,
And I was like,
Omaha,
are
St.
you
Louis.
fucking shitting me?
I
dude?
record all that shit.
You know? But yeah, man, like that's what it is it's gonna take all of our efforts to make this pop, just like it's taking all of our efforts to make this fucking pop, you know? But we all can't do the same things over there in that spot that we can do here. You know what I mean?
I can't wait to see people dancing in here. Man. I
Yeah,
would love
like what he
that.
was saying for that Latin night shit, I can even get some lowriders out here Maybe for like,
Please? Please. The ones with pounds, too.
Yeah, we can do that. You know what I'm saying? Right out front.
I'm with those kinds of ideas, just so y'all know.
Do that shit, get a Mexican band in here or whatever the hell you...
Some
Yeah,
dancers.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Girls with pretty skirts.
we just move it across the board to different subcategories of everything that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? We know we're going to have punk rock and hardcore and metal in here very regularly, you know what I'm saying, just because of who we are.
Hell yeah.
Preston's with the
Preston
Latin
said he
nights.
wants to handle Latin nights, so there you go. DJ Alpha Beta in the mix.
Hell yeah.
Therial, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Same question as I asked Key, actually. What's your favorite art form and why?
You want a real answer, or do you want the fucking
Real
smiley
answer.
face? Okay. I don't like art. And I mean, I don't mean that in any kind of way. It's, I suck at it. All right? I can't draw. I can't fucking, bro, I can't color. You know what I'm saying? So,
DJ said he's...
but
Color
that's
your hair.
Like I don't. Come on, man. Do I look like I stay fashionable? I'm in all black all the fucking time.
Okay.
All black all the time.
I guess
You know.
I kind of want to rephrase her question. What's like a favorite passion of yours outside of music? That doesn't have to be art, but
Skateboarding.
okay.
Skateboarding was another big piece of my fucking whole life and shit. And
Do
so
a kickflip.
I fucking will. I will. I'll kickflip over 3 of you. No, I decided I'm not going to bring the board in here and ride it. This floor can't handle it like the studio floor can. But it also can't, none of it can handle it like the fucking skate park over in Oakland, though. That's my favorite spot. You might catch me over there at
Shout
2
out.
o'clock in the morning just fucking
shit.
skating around. The lights don't shut off, so that's like my late night when I'm at home and I don't sleep or whatever, and I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here and think. I'll go straight to, what do you call it, Mousetrap, I think it's called.
I think, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll go to Mousetrap and I'll skate around for a couple of hours and shit, you know, and that helps clear my head.
I got a lot of tags out there.
Huh?
Spray paint stuff. Not like
Yeah.
tags, but like some art.
Yeah.
Have you seen the face and the dome right there?
Yep.
I did that 2 summers ago now.
Everywhere I go, Maddie's got something fucking painted there, it seems like.
You know, and I was driving down 6 the other day, and I finally got because I haven't drove by since I got, we got the signs up there, and I got the view of the graffiti on this west-facing wall and then the sign, and I was like, I'm proud of that. Again, I feel like we could label this episode community, bro, because it's just, you've been such an outlet for a lot of people.
Appreciate
And
that.
even if I don't know, you might not even see it, but you've impacted a lot of lives in this city.
I hope positively. I know I
Hell
have
no.
my negative moments, but I really do try to keep my negative moments to myself until I feel like I have to bring it to attention. So I hope that if I have impacted you somehow or another, that it's on a positive level, because even though I kind of talk like an asshole, and I get that. It's just what it is. I don't mean anything by it, but I never mean to, if I'm trying to disrespect, that's for sure. I'm gonna let you know if I'm trying to disrespect you by the tone that I use. Now, if I use a tone and you take it disrespectful and I don't mean it that way, I'll by all means tell you that it's not really how I meant it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to be positive about shit. And I hope that if I've impacted you in any kind of way, that it is on a positive level or a learning level, something that can help you exceed somehow.
And I may be biased on the situation, or because I might be an asshole too, but I remember before really knowing you, people being like, yeah, he can be kind of a dick sometimes. I've never once seen that from you. Maybe I've just never gotten on your bad side, but I don't know. Just you are a genuine guy to most people I see you interact with.
What makes me a dick is I'm very straightforward. I'm very straightforward. If you ask me, if you play me your music and it sounds like shit or I just don't like it, I'm not going to tell you that it's fucking dope. And that's the problem is I'm not going to lie to you. There's no sense in lying to you about it. All I'm doing then is enabling this bullshit. Right. And that's really what it is when people ask me things, I will either agree, disagree, or give my opinion, why I will or won't do something. And it's a lot of times it's just taken as I stand my ground on things, so it looks like I'm pushing back.
And I wonder if it's because people don't know that, like, you're an OG for real. Like, you've been through it, and they could just probably just are like, oh, what the fuck do you know? You know,
when I
like,
moved here, I'm an unknown to the majority of this community. The community here that knows me from before isn't even active anymore, you know, and I'm going to take it back and to the Joey the Spitters, fucking Karma from Wichita, you know, those dudes when they was running shows, that area of people, that's who I was in Topeka knowing, you know what I'm saying? And so when I moved here and I wasn't an active artist anymore, it was different. I'm watching things in the scene and I'm giving my opinion sometimes where I probably shouldn't have, but giving reason why I gave my opinion at that too. And so it's caused me a few problems, but I mean, I promise you that if I say something and you take it wrong, it's because I'm literally trying to help you realize you could have done something better one night. You know what I mean?
So you've been here like 5 years or something?
Yeah, I moved here the first month after COVID. I moved here the first day that you guys actually shut down.
it was like March 14th, 2020
Yeah.
or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
So,
It was my brother's birthday.
yep.
You said you're not much of an artist. Who designed this cat here?
Oh, shit, that's tight.
I don't know if the camera can see that,
I've
but
seen that before.
George Brody.
George Brody.
George Brody, who is the owner of
Take
the
that to
label
the
that I'm on
Neon
is
or
Video Entertainment.
Okay.
We all grew up on like comic books and comic characters, and what that was actually made for was I had this idea, the Master P thing. Remember when you'd get a Master P CD and it would have the releases of like all the next, okay?
Yeah.
My idea was this. If we were all making albums in the same year, when you open my CD case, there's a comic of my character doing something, battling something, whatever, and then it would lead into your character entering the scene. And then when your album came out, you were leaving that scene into your own thing, going in to the next person. All right? So that character that you see there is based around me, but as a comic book character. There is actually a picture. It's kind of fucked up the way the hands turn, but there's a picture of like that guy, super buff, hitting 6'9" with a baseball bat.
Oh shit.
In an alleyway.
Right.
The picture is cartoon, but the background is actually regular picture.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
video you got.
Yeah, for Doom, yeah.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, there was
It
one
moving
comment.
his mouth and shit.
One comment that said, "Yes, sir, bring the Doom to your ear holes in 2016." So that's how far we go back, 2016, with that full-length album that is now free to listen to on Reverb Nation.
That was actually that song, which was on my last release. It was just a single for so damn long. And so when I was making the Access to Audio album, I was stuck in a rut. I hit a ceiling, okay? And I had to think about how can I pull myself out of this. So I did a couple of things. One, I kept kind of repeating same scenarios, you know, so I wrote this song that is all of my song titles that I've ever fucking released, and would say the line as close to the song title as I could, or I would use the line that fit the best from the song to complete it. The entire song, every line was a song title. And then after I got to the end of mine, I had like 4 bars left. And there was this other dude that I used to fuck with heavy named Tommy Guns. And I did so much of his work back in the day that on those last 4 bars, I flipped it to some things me and him worked on. And I used the last 4 bars to of his on things that I had my hand in. You know what I'm saying? That pulled the saying the same thing away. But then I was like, but how do I exceed musically? So what I ended up doing was I picked the beats, but all of my features got to write the hooks. So it made it to where instead of you coming to my world on my entire album, every fucking song is different because I stepped to somebody else's world. You know what I mean? And if you really, when you hear that album, that's not an album that I would have made on my own. Like the whole style, beat choices, you know, it was, I would not have completely done that album. Right. Not to say I'm not glad I did. I'm very glad that I did. But that allowed me to actually just open my mind and go, I want to live in somebody else's realm for a track. You know what I mean? So I just let all my features write the hooks, and I had to come to their world, each and every one of them, you know what I mean? Even there's a song on there with Lord Infamous' son and DJ Paul's nephew, C to 6. And, bro, I ended up getting that song. I didn't have to pay $1. You know what I'm saying? I got the kids of 3-6 Mafia on there. And I didn't have to pay $1. And I was like, yep, give me that track. And so George Letha, the same one that did that picture, he just floated it over to me and was like, here you go, man, do what you do with it because nobody else is using it. I'm like, how the fuck is nobody using this shit? You know, but yeah, I'd hit a ceiling and needed different ways, and so I just kind of opened my mind to doing things that I wouldn't normally do. And I didn't keep myself in the rock rap phase. You know what I mean? I completely pulled away from that on this album.
Right. Yeah, I was reading your artist bio, and it says that you used to be known as C2. Obviously, the C's probably Chad, but what's the story
Chad
behind
Coleman, C
Chad
to the
Coleman?
second power.
C to the second power. All right, I love that. That's what I was kind of thinking, but I wanted to be sure because I was interested.
Yep.
And yeah, you kind of answered everything that's on your bio. Did you write your bio?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
I did write my bio.
Yeah, this rock, rap, underground hard hitter is a force to be reckoned within today's swag and top 40 influenced rap hip hop.
Fucking hated swag rappers
in
when
which
they
he
came out,
shits
man.
on. Come hard or go home with no overdub use in his live verses. He maintains industry standard by using his voice alone over the beats like real rappers and hip hop vocalists should be doing. He stands on that every day. Every time we talk to Chad, that's what he's talking about.
Where'd you find that at?
That's on his artist bio on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
There's that. There's like, man, there's some old ass songs on Reverb Nation.
Got some questions, bro?
ReverbNation.com/BeastMode Music, and that'll fill you in on like how it used to be, the style that it used to be, and I used to just go like, I was like, I want these fucking heavy metal beats, and you know what I'm saying, like. Some of them were too crucial for the hip-hop heads, but, you know, I was able to kind of get it to my own liking. And if I'm confident in it, you're confident in it. And what I mean by that is, y'all have seen me. I got, now it's green, but, you know, y'all know me as having the red mohawk. I'm sitting in thug clubs in, like, Gary, Indiana, fucking Denver, Colorado, you know, sitting in these all-black thug clubs, and I'm the white dude in the corner with a red mohawk and a fucking bandana on, way out of place. You know, and we used to call it the element of surprise in the early seasons, right? How you don't look the part you're playing, right? And so motherfuckers, you know, they'd be over there talking shit because, you know, who's this fucking white boy in the corner, da-da-da. I got my banners up and I'm fucking merch and shit, you know. And then I get on stage, and it did not matter that I used rock beats. The fact was, I was fucking rapping good. I had substance to songs. I did mostly fight style music, if you will. But at the end of the day, I didn't I didn't drop N-bombs. I don't talk with an accent, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these things where I was keeping it real helped me. Once I got off the stage, I was no longer the fucking odd dude in the corner. Now, guess where everybody's hanging out at? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you know, I love that kind of shit. And I hope that people can find their way of getting past intimidating situations out here, because, like, you're going to go to places that you don't have a fucking clue. I thought I was getting fucked up one time. I was down in was it Lubbock, Texas. And I was walking into the club. My hotel was just a few blocks down, so I walked. And there's 30 of these Native American and Mexican dudes chilling on this bench inside this fence area, and they see me. And as I walk by, they all leave that area and they meet me at the fucking door. And I'm like, oh shit, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm about to walk into. And I open the door, they're all right there in my face, and I just kind of back up, and they're like, you that dude from Tennessee? I was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. Bro, we've been waiting to see you all fucking day. I was like, oh my God. Oh. Yeah, man, I got like a whole backpack full of fucking merch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you never know. But when you go into those scenarios, just remember, what you do up here is really going to have the reflection of what happens when you leave right here and go to anywhere else in the fucking building, you know? And it's not always a bad thing. Hardly ever is it a bad thing.
So I have like a two-part question for you. What was it? I know you said that you've only performed 5 times in the last 5 years. Could we expect to see any more performances for you, or are you retired?
Probably not.
Yeah?
That shit is so tiring for me. But it's like I was telling, I think, D. Revell and Zay earlier, it's like, I'm not going to get up here and just give you a weak-ass performance. But at the same time, I'm 48 years old. I don't practice as I, you know, used to, you know. And so if I know damn well I'm going to run out of breath on the first song, then no, there's no way I'm going to fucking step out here and show you and it not be what it's supposed to be. I would never give a half-assed performance in any scenario. And that's why, knowing today that it was going to be me sitting up here, I made the decision early today. I'm not performing because I'm not prepared physically to do it. Do I know my words? All fucking day. But that's not the point of being up here. It's everything else that goes with it. You know what I mean? So, no.
So for the people that have followed your journey and still support your music, do you have merch anywhere that can be purchased?
No, not anymore, really.
So you're going to have to come to the shows when he hands out
Well, I mean,
CDs?
I don't keep, so I don't really keep up with the beast mode shit really anymore, man. Like, and it's really just because, like, ever since I got in my accident, it's uncomfortable to go out on the road. You know what I'm saying? Look, I was motherfucking 5 years, so I was 43 when I got in the car wreck, right? But I was 30 in the face. Until the day of the fucking car wreck, I was fucking 30. You know what I'm saying? But until I was 30, I was fucking 12 in the face. You know what I mean? So as I'm getting out here and I can't enunciate as well as I would like to, things like that, it's very uncomfortable. And so I finished the tour that I was on. I did 1 or 2 more shows with the homies in St. Louis, Midwest Avengers. I did 1 here for the Magnum video at the Trap. And then I did 1 over at Trauzzma one time.
I seen that one.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, and then I did the show, the second season opener, I think we did. Me, Psycho, was it just me and Psycho and D Revell? I think, was you not on that one? OG Spice, that's right, okay. But I mean, honestly, I have more interest in providing the place and the way for artists to be able to do them rather than
Mentorship.
focus on my past fucking life these days. You know what I mean? But my past life is what put me here to be able to work with Preston to have this place at the same time. You know, so I do have to kind of shine both when I can, but I ain't out here trying to get on no fucking shows. I don't really, you know. Y'all keep asking me to get on these tracks with y'all. I'm telling you, you get lucky if you do. You get very fucking lucky.
Get you doing some like just a sentence at the beginning.
Huh?
Get you like at the beginning of a track just talking or something.
No, you know, Schwem did get me on his album as a character, where I was all talking like, hey, yeah, you know, yeah. So I don't know what happened, man. It's things just aren't working out, you know. Stop hitting my stereo. Well, it's working, you know. But as far as like music things, for me, I'm cool on it. Like, this is my new outlet. Is this right here, you know?
Yeah, we need
Podcast,
to get connected with
this.
that, Lawrence, Kansas unreleased. What's this? That long ass title?
DJ DP.
Yeah, their podcast. We need to go hook up with them one of these days.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For real?
Yeah, Revell and
that.
Psycho went one time last year and shit.
That's all right. Shit, I need to
Me
go out
and
there.
DP, you know what I'm saying? We've been having some talks and shit, you know, and try to let them know like it's all good. I ain't fucking holding grudges on nobody. I don't give a fuck what happened last year. You know what I'm saying? We can all fucking work together, or we don't have to. It's cool.
Community.
But I have no problem with it if you want to. So. And I fuck with DP, for real. I like that dude as a DJ. I think he did really good the times he was on our show. You know what I mean? He fucking represented for his scene, for his crew, and for him being a DJ and having some fucking music knowledge, you know? So.
Are there any more questions? Leon, did you have a question back there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's fucking Meatloaf, bro.
Almost
It's
11
not
o'clock.
meatloaf. Actually, okay, that's almost the right answer, bro. Okay, we're gonna since we're talking about food, we're gonna start with food, all right? I've heard a lot about the touring, man. What's your tour diet looking like, bro?
Average tour night, drive 6 to 8 hours to the spot, check into your hotel. Don't get to take a shower or a nap before you got to go check in. Find a corner, sleep for an hour, wake up, grab a fucking, I used to grab a Jaeger bomb and a fucking blunt, and I'd fucking hit the parking lot. Colorado got me too fucked up one time, so I had to stop smoking weed before the show until I came off the fucking stage, because I got really fucked up one night. But yeah, and then I actually, man, I really like watching the other acts, to be honest with you, you know. But I like to see who, you know. Sometimes the shittiest person brought the most people. You know what I mean? And as much as that may suck in some aspects, they fucking brought people, you know. And so, if you brought people through the door, I want to know something about you. And so I used to actually sit there and watch every act. You know, have a fucking headache when I leave, because I'm sitting in the room, besides smoking a cigarette and going and chiefing, like I'm sitting in the room trying to catch everybody. And I don't know, about 2015 that stopped. Other than that, I'll go hang in the car. If motherfuckers want to hang out, that's cool, but I'm not like peeping certain acts, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cigarettes and Jaeger bombs.
Cigarettes, Jaeger bombs, and a blunt, bro.
Okay. We're talking about the tour stuff, right?
Yeah, you know, I used to actually give my tour support the beds, and I would sleep in that little closet area under the sink. I would always have my own pallet and make sure that my tour support people were more comfortable, and I would sleep on the floor with my own fucking pallet.
No, I felt that, dog. I felt that.
Straight up. You guys are more tired than I am.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I know I went jogging for 2 months before the tour started every day doing my set for an hour. I know you didn't. You know what I mean?
Real.
So I always did everything to make sure, like, my tour support people, they were always as comfortable, if not more, than myself. That's for sure.
Real.
That's real. So we're talking about the tour stuff. What's your dream lineup if you were throwing your own show at a tour in the city of your choosing? What's the city and what's the lineup?
You talking about like one show?
One show. What's the dream lineup and dream city?
You know, honestly, there's a lot of places that I like performing. But I will say, I'll give you two places. It'll either be St. Louis at Pops, or it would be Colorado Springs, and I can't think of the name of the venue, but it is their biggest one that they have there. That's not an arena. No, it's bigger than Black Sheep. It's on the outskirts of town. Sunshine Studios. There you go. Good job, Ethereal. Sunshine Studios, and that lineup would be myself with Midwest Avengers, with Re-Up Von Wolfgang, and then locally, I would have to say, coming out of Colorado, I'd have to go with Eyeless. Eyeless is dope. If you don't know Eyeless, Eyelezz. And, well, I used to, old school, Static G. I liked Static G up to a point, you know what I'm saying? He was actually one of my fucking heroes and shit, because he was doing the damn thing. I don't know if you've ever got to catch him on a show. That dude used to fucking get it in. And the funny thing was, is me and him, we always had this same red-colored hair. But I had the fucking long mohawk, and he had the short fucking little buzz. And we would say shit like, hey, just because me and Static G got naturally dyed red hair doesn't make us fucking brothers, people. We're not related, you know, and just stupid shit like that. Like, you're clowning with your peers from other states all the time. Those are the best things, you know. But yeah, man, that would be my lineup, is a bunch of underground, hard-hitting underdogs, you know.
Smooth. So we got somebody in the chat. They said tips on how to get your name out in new states and meet new artists.
You gotta go. So before I ever made $1 doing a show, I had to tour the country on my own dime 3 times. I mean, it is what it is, you know. You take as many door splits and free shows as you can get, because you're not, at that point, you're trying to build fan base, but you're also trying to build network.
Right.
So your most important people in the building, outside of these fans that showed up, is the promoter, the bartender, and the venue owner, and your sound guy, obviously. If you get the bartender to like your shit and you give her a fucking shirt before you leave that night, you're coming back for pay. Because 9 out of 10 times, the bartender's actually the one who says who can and cannot come back for money. You know what I'm saying? There's methods to everything. You gotta find who has the say-so everywhere you go. You ain't gotta kiss their ass. You just gotta learn how they do business so that you know how to talk to them. Your government name is your manager if you don't have one. You know, you can't be fucking, I'm gonna use you, Zen. You know what I'm saying? For example, you can't put out an email like, yo, my name's Xavier Zen. I'm a rapper from Topeka, blah, blah, blah. You have to be like, my name's Isaiah Roeder.
Right.
I represent the artist, Xavier Zen from Topeka, Kansas. Boom, small bio, blah, blah, blah. You got to learn how to word shit and put it together. But you also have to show what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying? So don't show one show clip. Put something together that's short and fast. Makes it look like there's more movement than what's going on. Make it 25 seconds of different things. You moved an arm, you do, you know what I mean? The more movement, doesn't matter what is actually going on in context. You gave them this 25 seconds with your song playing, in all these scenarios. It looks like you got a hype-ass live show, you know?
Right.
You have to go, though. IndieOnTheMove.com. That place tells you every venue in every state in alphabetical order by music genre and by capacity.
Can you say that one more time?
IndieOnTheMove.com. I use that to book my first 2 tours.
That's hard.
Indie on the Move, because those places will tell you when they have openings for shit. Hey, we have an opening in Austin, Texas for 3 hip-hop acts. They don't want locals. They want out of state. That's
Right.
their business, you know what I mean? So you just have to find those kinds of things that help you without having to reach out through social media and be the rapper trying to get on a show.
Right. That's real, bro. That's real. Okay. So we talked about how to meet new artists. We talked about a dream lineup. What are your top 3 favorite bands? It don't matter any genre. What's the top 3 favorite bands?
Man, because that just kind of recently changed.
Shit.
Currently, I really like Southpaw, FLHC, which is Florida hardcore. Southpaw is pretty fucking dope. I'm gonna say across the board, my favorite MC is probably Method Man. That doesn't really change. He mentioned Jaron Benton earlier. Jaron Benton, super fucking dope, one of my favorites, you know. I'm a big Tech fan, honestly, you know, and it's not because of what he does forever, it's because he's literally given us a structure that we're not following. He fucking just handed it to us, and we're still not following it, you know what I mean? I try to. I try to lead people into, man, just look, I don't care if you listen to the dude's music. I don't care if you don't fuck with him because of gang affiliate, whatever. You need to understand he laid forth a path for you to see, and you just got to figure out how to work that for yourself. He'll tell you the same thing. When he went on tour in his old days, he used to have to go and put up posters and shit and do all these things that was literally on their fucking dime before he really had a budget, you know? That's really what it is. And we forget that these days because we all think social media is our furthest reach.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Social media is supposed to be like your first step into real life type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the simulation is how you break the simulation, you feel me?
MySpace is to blame. Because so many people, including your boy fucking Soulja Boy.
I was about to say, shout out Soulja Boy.
You know, Soulja Boy, A Day to Remember. There's a shit ton of groups that got signed strictly because of MySpace.
Right.
And once that happened, it just it flooded. You know what I mean? And now everybody's opening my own record label, my own this and that. It's like, man, stop that bullshit. Go get on somebody's shit. Go get you a distribution deal. Build some money up, then get some knowledge and go make your label then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Stop trying to get that extra check by being the owner and the artist and the producer. Like, man, there's people out here to play those roles.
Exactly.
You know? So.
All right. So we got the favorite bands. One more music question. Speaking of bands, I got another 3-piece for you. What's your 3 favorite shows that you've thrown outside of Soundpeak After Dark on a live stream?
On a live stream?
Yeah, like the live stream shows that you've done?
I used to do a lot of radio shows, but I mean, honestly, you guys have pretty much been around my entire live stream shit. You know what I mean? Between Soundpeak After Dark and Black Chamber, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, all of those would be considered Soundpeak After Dark, in a sense.
Okay, let me reiterate. What's your top 3 Soundpeak After Dark shows that weren't Soundpeak After Dark episodes?
I thought that the fucking, actually, Ched and Grizz. They did a concert over at the studio one time. That shit was dope. Schwem did a concert over there that was dope. And then obviously Denku and fucking, you know, IP, you know.
Hey, yeah, that's
those 4 shows, they weren't exactly Sound Peak After Dark shows, but they were Sound Peak live stream shows, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and the Cody Manson show was dope. I really like the Cody Manson shit.
Yeah.
That shit, you know what I'm saying, is because that one there, I couldn't have put, like, we had like immediately 600 views.
Dude, it looks so good.
And I couldn't put him in a venue here in Topeka with 100 people. You feel me? That I couldn't have done that because he just doesn't have that pull here. There's a lot of music that doesn't have that pull here, you know, that we should be knowing about. But when I looked at the numbers that night and I just went, I couldn't have put you in front of 600 people. So this is a way better way for me to do this with some of these artists. If you don't have pull, doesn't mean we can't hype you. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Even Denku, when he did, that dude walked out of here with like $300-400 in merch sales.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's slap.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that kind of shit, that's what means something to me is when we see it that way where we go, okay, we took nothing and made it something for somebody and they want to come back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about the
damn,
the bands on the podcast. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a thorough one, man.
Next,
We've
go
talked
do your
about
thing.
we've talked about the
Go do your thing, man.
Be here till 3 in the morning.
we talked about the bands on the podcast. Sometimes it takes a lot of work to get people inside of spaces. What's some of the biggest difficulties managing artists?
Getting them to not fucking ride on people's cars and do dumb shit. Yeah. No, bands don't like to listen, bro. Especially when there's multiple, you know? And so I haven't managed a lot of bands. I only managed a couple here and there. But I don't like how, like, they want, but they don't want to listen and they don't want to achieve it themselves. They want you to do everything. That's what I don't like.
Real. What's your biggest success that you've ever had on stage? Like the dopest moment that you've ever had performing on a stage?
I shared the stage one time that I did not have to buy tickets or sell tickets or anything, and it was Revell, the human beatboxer. It was Jelly Rollin' Haystack. It was Tech 9. It was Insane Clown Posse. It was Onyx. Soulfly. Like, one concert that I didn't, and I did not have to sell a ticket. I didn't have to fucking pay a slot. I got chose for it.
Hard.
And it was a festival show, but the fact remains is all of those people touched the stage that I was on.
Share the stage with them. Yeah.
That's my favorite thing, and you can actually, if you go to Wikipedia, if you look up Gathering of the Juggalos, 2013 is what that was. They throw the fuck down with so many different kinds of music. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just horrorcore, it's not just Juggalo shit. Like, they have metal bands. They obviously, like I said, they had Haystack and Jelly Roll. They had Onyx, Revell, you know. All of those names is what the fuck I grew up around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my favorite actual, like, it's my favorite, like, successful, I guess is how you put it.
Yeah.
But my favorite actual all-time show is, I used to do this thing, used to tell my homie, I used to listen to Head PE a lot.
Yeah.
And I was telling my homie, man, if I could just smoke weed with this dude at a show one time, I would know I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, I'm on a show with Head PE. And I bought my weed from the same person he bought his weed from. And so I'm just like, hey, man, I just want to know if I can fill your bowl, because all I really ever wanted to do was smoke a little bit of fucking weed with you because you're my hero.
Yeah.
And dude's like, is it good? And I was like, it's the same thing you just bought. And he looked over at the plug and he was like, yeah. And he's like, well, shit, fill it up. And I literally got to have, like, I literally did something that I kind of used to use jokingly as, you know, this is when I made it type shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it actually fucking got to happen one night. And I had an entire conversation with that dude 3 different times since that night at other shows that I was actually brought to Cincinnati to be on a show with him one time. You know what I'm saying? 2 times in St. Louis and 1 time in Colorado. You know what I mean? Like, that's my shit. When you actually are on stage with people that you want to be on stage with, not just who's popular or who's gonna fucking buy tickets from you, that means so much fucking more at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Bro matched with one of the goats.
Huh?
Bro matched with one of the goats.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that was my favorite actual day in music. That was my favorite day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
smooth.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, I got a good one for you. Since
All right,
you
bro, got a
talked
zinger.
about, being a mentor, or the love of music and all that. You probably saw me make that post that I tagged Lemmy in about doing a tour in Canada. Man, he's been hitting me up, not daily, but quite often. And he really wants to try to make it happen. And he says that, he kind of chopped it up with Schwem and yourself. And, I know you say your touring days are over, but, I talked to him before I came in here and told him I'd mention it to you.
Doesn't mean I won't help the fucking homies get over
Exactly,
there,
that's what I'm
though.
talking about. And that's what I told him. I was like, well, I'll definitely reach out and, get the ball rolling for us. And he said he just got a job and he's ready to start saving money and make it happen.
Look, y'all need to go get passports, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Look, because an unsigned American artist in Europe, and I know we're talking about Canada, but use this for some kind of reference. Your minimum payout, if all 3 of you were solo acts in Europe, you would get booked for no less than $2,500 a night.
Shit.
Okay? Yeah, bro.
What's up then, D Rebel?
Yeah, bro.
Let's get
Do
it.
that.
Because American unsigned is what they're listening to over there right now. So think about it: $2,500 for 1 gig pays all y'all's fucking planes.
Right.
Now you line up 5, 6, 7 more. All your travel. You make sure they give you hotel rooms every night.
Right.
Y'all are making something in your own pockets at that point, and you ain't even got to be fucking with America. America's music payout sucks.
Dude.
I still, look, you can look at my numbers on Spotify, super weak. But guess what? I still make sales in Germany and Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic,
man.
whatever you want to call it. You know
Shout
what I'm
out
saying?
Germany.
Say whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because that's who's still buying, that's where Video pushes. They don't push America. They push Europe. It's more wanted over there. And I think you guys should consider expanding where you're putting your music. I don't think you can do Japan right now, but I think you can do everywhere else. There's like one country that we can't do right now.
Let's go to South Korea.
As the independence, without the labels
Korea?
helping.
Yeah. But like,
Not North Korea. No, it's an actual someplace that artists always go, and it's either Japan or a country in Africa that is not allowing us to put our music in there on Spotify and Apple.
So you should do some YouTube videos with lyrics on the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some people who don't speak English, they can learn English from your lyrics and shit.
that'd be hard.
Yeah.
Facts. All right, so like, how though? Like, how do we like push our content and stuff to different countries, man?
Same way you do here. How do you do it here?
Dude, I'd like-
You started off by pushing to other artists.
Yeah. And
So
it's like,
find
walk
you
it up.
some European artists that you find are on your vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey, who's your
DC3.
promoter out there? They will gladly give you the info. They're not gatekeepers over there, bro. They're really not. It's very easy. The only reason that I can't do it is because I'm a 2-time felon. So I can't go over there.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's what I've wanted to do my entire music career. But my entire music career, I've had felonies. So I'm limited.
Real.
But as someone who's got music selling over there that doesn't deal with Spotify, Apple, things like that, it's so fucking worth it for everybody to at least look into it. You just gotta find you a couple of homies over there that are using a similar beat style in you, or a similar delivery, or a similar attitude. And yeah, you just bullshit with them for a little bit. Boom, boom. Get the fucking promoter's info, because those dudes pay.
That's hard. See, I'm
So
trying to get into
the
that.
ASCAP and the
Zen.
BMIs and
But you have to have your I just told him what to go get.
Passport.
Passport. You gotta have your fucking passport before they will talk to you about booking. That's
Real.
the key.
Because how you going to get down there if you don't got your passport?
that's where we gotta figure
Well,
that out.
you get your passport downtown.
No, I'm saying how you going to get down to the other country if you don't got your passport? So we need our passport.
Right,
type
right.
shit.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
They won't
yeah.
even consider you to have the conversation if you don't have one.
Right.
You know.
All right. So think about like closer to when you first started your music career. What was the turning point that made you decide you were going to go all in?
That show that I went across the river to St. Louis and met up with the crew and saw that. I mean, that was my first real, like, actual payout for being an artist, was that show. It was $50, but it was the first one. You know what I mean? And so for me, I was like, okay, I see how these guys are juggling everyday life and being able to get out here. And all it is time management. Really, more than anything, it's time management, you know? But yeah, man, when I got to St. Louis, that was my turning point. I saw so many things so quickly that I was just unaware of, you know what I mean? That I had to get in quick, you know?
Yeah. I got the last question, man. Out of, let's say, in terms of being a jack of all trades, man, what's your spade? What's your biggest skill? What are you most skilled at?
Bringing people together.
Bro, I'd fucking say it. All right, I'll drink to that one.
Yeah.
Cheers, microphone.
I mean, honestly, bro, it's what I've always done. It's how my music started, was gathering groups of people for the better of the area, for the genre, for the scene, you know, things like that. And even though I put in a lot of work doing other things, I'm not as good at some of those other things as I am with gathering up people to make a fucking function happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm very good at last minute, like, stress on the fucking brain.
Audibles.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, I have to, if I don't have the stress, I'm not really interested. You know what I mean? Not that I don't want to do it, it's just I won't, if I'm not stressing it because it's due today, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, however close it is, I don't really focus on it until I gotta have that pressure on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where y'all see me all the time, by the way, is like I'm sitting here holding that pressure in even though nothing wrong has happened yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you guys see me at you know, whether it be the studio or at a show that, you know, I have my hand in or whatever, it's because I'm waiting for something to go wrong.
Right, bro. See, man, I felt that to the core, dog. Shoot. Just imagine, like, got it. There it is. Shit. What the hell? That's it for me, man.
Oh shit.
I think Mr. This Man got one.
Of course he does.
How's it going, Chad?
What up, man?
Oh, that's my question. I'm sorry.
Your question is what's up? How's it going?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But so let's see. Like you've been around with SoundPeak for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I would say I remember I met your buddy Monkey out at a gas station, and he recommended you to me, and then another artist that you had known, Truth, was playing a performance with the band I was in, and he was the one who ultimately led me to you.
Right.
And then I had a miscommunication with one member of the band. We all came and pretty much tested all your mics and production setup and all that. It was really cool to meet you back then, and I've noticed you do have like an eye, and you try to mesh, you try to find where all these people blend. I think before you came along, most shows here were pretty much rooted in one genre. If you went to a rock show, it's a rock show, you might get some metal. If you go to a metal show, it's metal. Right. You go to a rap show, you're getting rap. And I think you brought a mixed bag here, at least that I haven't seen. I've been around for 4 or 5 years in the community, and it's usually been like that, and I feel like you've blended and brought culture together, and maybe cultures that would clash otherwise. Like maybe you find yourself mediating. But it's really cool, and you've shared a lot of wisdom, and you've brought a lot of artists, like you've turned artists into, or you've turned musicians into artists, you've turned artists into performers, you've turned performers into entertainers, you've taken them and see their passion and try to make it fit within the world we're here. You said you're not very good of an artist, but I kind of disagree. Artists, how you express yourself, you may not feel. Well, honestly, I do appreciate your raps because it does feel real and genuine when you lay it down, and it's like a part of yourself. And like you said, that album where you had a bunch of people in the hooks, and it's like it's a reflection of yourself and how you feed the community and feed into it. Right. And it's really awesome to see. It's like you show, like I've seen a lot of people come up, do their set, and they're standing stiff as a board, and then you start showing them, simple as move around or find your stuff, where's your merch, like get the business plan, because you are creating the professional expectation for people out here.
I try to.
I feel like last time I did this, I also just had this big old spiel to like kind of paint people or paint the whole, because this is honest and genuine. But I really appreciate what you've done around here, and you've done a lot, and your mark is indistinguishable. We wouldn't even be here having this or any of the SoundPeak After Darks if it wasn't for you bringing it together. Yeah. I mean, I give a lot of props to everybody in this room, and Preston over there in the back being the man behind the curtain and stuff.
Right.
And of course, but your eye for that community has kind of helped create this amalgamation we're at. So
I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate you too. Yeah, back at the Fat Shack by Washburn, and it's been an awesome time in recording and laid down guitar and bass and however and whatever. Just jamming at the end of a show, drumming to rappers. I never would really have been doing things like that.
Right.
So it's cool. I really appreciate it. Like, I don't even, how you doing today?
I'm good, actually, man. Like, fuck this snow, because I don't like the cold. But man, look, you are just as an important piece, bro.
I appreciate that.
You've been in every band that's been in my studio at one point or another, minus the Basement Melons.
Oops. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All respect to those guys.
You've had your hand in every other fucking actual band that's been in the studio since we opened. You were the first musician to come into the studio. You know what I'm saying? You were the first one that wasn't just a rapper or singer that stepped foot in, And ever since, you've actually put your fucking stamp on so much other shit. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everything that you've actually been doing for this community as well, because you try to keep that same thing. You art and music, and for you, unity. Remember, bro, I remember he used to fucking soup, the little soup feeds and shit. You know what I'm saying? You're always trying to get people to step out and just forget what you're doing today and let's come do something.
Unite and jam, yeah.
Let's go to the sewers. Let's have a fucking soup day, or you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's also similar, like what you're doing. You're bringing, like you're expressing yourself. The art creates culture. You're creating culture. It's all there. I see it. So
Right.
you're appreciated.
Thank you.
I really don't have I mean, the question other than just like I really am just kind of giving appreciation because I figure it's a good time to do so. But what are you gonna do with yourself? I'll hit you with that one. I think you're already doing it anyways.
No, I really, man, I got no clue. I really, honestly, I just wanna ride a dirt bike all fucking day. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be able to wake up and go ride a fucking dirt bike or go skate, you know? And don't get me wrong, I can't skate as hard as I used to. I can't fucking do what I used to on a dirt bike. But just being on those things, you know what I mean? Different vibe than everything else. It gets me away from, because as much as we love this music world, it is very fucking stressful on so many levels for all of us, you know?
True.
So.
Yeah, for real, like, you thank you for everything you've done to nurture this community and make it feel like a family more than it already has.
You're welcome, man.
So,
Shit.
if you guys want to give a hand to Chad, I really
appreciate it.
I was like
Zach Kane, everybody.
I say,
And once again,
that's all for me. I appreciate it.
I couldn't do any of this shit without you guys in this fucking room, you know?
Brought to you by viewers like you.
Yeah, you
Shout
know
out
what
to
I'm saying?
PBS. They raised me.
So, all right.
Well, we fucking sat here and lollygagged for 2.5 hours now.
All right, well, I'm ready to get off of here.
For
Shit.
old time's sake, you want to go ahead and close it out?
Man, no shows coming up, right? We have the 12th, we have a food drive here at 6th and Polk. 13th, we have Coat Drive, Toy Drive.
Also, brunch and mimosas at Trauzzma with Gerald Fisher. Madison Busby's one of the comedians on that.
When is that?
The 13th as well.
Okay.
Brunch and mimosas.
At
so
11
I think it's
a.m.
11 to 2.
Okay, bet. So they won't intersect.
Here in
Yep, I'll
Topeka,
be DJing
Kansas,
that
man.
one.
Gotta
That's what's
represent the
up.
city and the state, man. We're worldwide or whatever.
Right. So for Kansas Mex, DJ Zeddy, Madison Busby, Preston, D Rebel, Leon, and 785 certified, Zach and Ethereal, Alberto. What's your name, Miss Lady? And Autumn.
All right.
Yeah, and Zay, and what's your name, blonde girl? Olivia. See, there we go. So for everybody that was here tonight, I'm Beast Mode, and we're out of here.
Good shit. Good shit.
No, don't do that. Preston's so mad.
I was about to make the soup and then